pleasure that I introduce our first very special moment of the evening. I would like you to all join me in welcoming Rachel and Naomi Rosen, Jeff's daughters, who lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now it honors all of us for me to introduce Rabbi David Booth, Jeff's rabbi, to give the benediction for this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Just before the prayer, I do want to take this one opportunity just to publicly say to Jeff and Anna and Naomi, congratulations, Mazalka. Tonight marks the beginning of the Jewish festival of Tu B'Shvat, a festival of the New Year for trees. And the reason why, in their wisdom, our ancient sages created a festival for trees is to recognize that at this time of year, there's a moment of transition that's taking place. They imagine that the trees are beginning to return to life, that sap is again beginning to flow, and the possibility of blossoming is just beginning to occur. It's just beginning to take place within those trees and within the natural world around us. Our cycle here in California, in the Bay Area, is very similar actually to that of Israel. And so similarly, we're just now beginning to see that return, that blossoming, that new life. And so with that in mind, it's my prayer, see if she could do that. May it be your will, Lord our God, that as this new beginning is undertaken, that Jeff should be granted that deep wisdom, the wisdom of realizing that sometimes there's moments of quiet, of discovering strength that begins to flow and takes time to come into fruition, of recognizing that justice in particular comes into blossom and flourishing when it's inspired, when it's watered by quality of mercy and compassion and integrity. And so all of the wonderful qualities that we see in Jeff bring him to this moment of celebration should continue to inform him that he should be granted that deep wisdom to begin to bring to fruition so many of the plans that he has to bring goodness and justice and mercy and compassion to our county. And let's all say, Amen.
Next, I would like to introduce someone who I like to call a personal friend, but I'm sure many, many people in this room would do the same and recognize with great respect our honorary speaker, former District Attorney George Kennedy, who will say a few words.
It's a great personal honor for me and for Janet Kennedy to participate in this taking of a most important oath. Jeff Rosen's swearing in is a wonderful occasion for the people of Santa Clara County. Jeff took an oath when I had the great good fortune to hire him as a deputy district attorney many years ago. Nobody understands the oath or followed the oath better than he. He knows the purposes of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. He had an appropriate education in that, including, for example, being the Truman Scholar. Ethics is his sacred and special interest. During his career, he's focused on the highest notions of public service. That, with his superior ability, made him everything a public prosecutor should be. His work always reflected knowing whom he worked for, the people. At the end of his first year as a prosecutor, he won the Robert L. Webb Award for being the best trial lawyer in his first year group. From there, based on merit, he proceeded to handle cases of ever-increasing complexity and seriousness until successfully specializing in trying cases such as murder for hire. And while being vigorous in this heated adversarial environment, he remarkably came out of it with extraordinary respect from all involved. That extensive experience of actually trying major jury trials uniquely qualifies him, I think, among lawyers to make the decisions on the matters of great moment we have in this large and sophisticated community. He not only learned the legal issues firsthand, he also learned jury behavior. And from that direct American application of democracy, he has the tools that he needs to run that office. And in all his work, I saw his beautiful analyses were always a function of what was the right thing to do, not petty considerations. Similarly, I know he ran for DA for the right reasons. Here is an honest man with the best motivations and a smart and experienced one who works. I was a prosecutor for 35 years, president of our state association and on the board of the national, and I say, within a reasonable period, Jeff Rosen will be the best in the nation. Finally, let me share with you what a powerful and appropriate symbol it is that Neil Kimball is administering the oath to Jeff. Neil was Jeff's supervisor and mentor in the district attorney's office in the nascent stages of Jeff's career. Neil was our best lawyer in the office on technical legal matters and an expert on prosecutorial ethics. Neil abhors dishonesty and reinforces fidelity to this oath. Thank you.
Before I call Neil up for the oath of office, let me acknowledge, by way of a note just handed to me, that we have Daryl Cortez from the NLPOA here. Welcome, Daryl. Javier Gonzalez for State Assemblywoman Nora Campos, and Dean Holton from Santa Clara University Law School. Again, I know we have many former elected officials here as well. I've seen many of them in the audience. I don't have a list of all your names, but know that we appreciate you being here. Jeff especially appreciates you being here. And with that, I would like to introduce Neil Kimball, a longtime friend and mentor of our new district attorney, to administer the oath of office.
Yes, I am. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeffrey F. Rosen, do solemnly swear. I, Jeffrey F. Rosen, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend, the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of California, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I accept this duty freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
I was a little nervous about speaking tonight, but then a friend reminded me that even if I bombed, I'd still be the DA. It's very wonderful for all of you to be here. It sort of feels like my wedding. I feel as if I've just married Santa Clara County. So along those lines, I want to thank my wife Amber for her love and support, advice, encouragement, and humor. We did it. I want to thank my daughters Rachel and Naomi. I'm so proud of you, and not just because you know the Pledge of Allegiance. Lori and Arlene Rosen, you taught me right from wrong. You taught me to stand up for what is right, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You brought me up to believe that if I worked hard and did my best, I could achieve anything. You are always with me, and I love you. And you keep me grounded, as the following story will illustrate. Several months ago, after the election, but several months ago, I was talking to my mom on the phone. Now, first of all, I talked to my mom more than every several months. This conversation happened several months ago. And we were talking, and sort of apropos of really nothing, my mom started saying to me, you know, you have to be nice to everybody. You know, not just the elected officials, but everybody who works for you. You have to be kind to them. You have to be nice to them. You have to say hello to them. And I said, right, I know, I understand. And you know, if they're sick, you need to write them a note, and you need to congratulate them. And I said, yes, of course. And she concluded by saying, because remember, you're just Jeff from the Valley. I know where I'm from. I want to thank my brother Jason for coming tonight, as well as my in-laws, Joe and Ellie Sachs, my uncle David, Aunt Ada, and cousin BZ, who came here from Chicago. Thank you all so much. I want to thank my best friend, Jay Boyarsky, for being with me every step of the way on this amazing journey. I think the only real fundamental disagreement we had was really at the beginning of this campaign, when he told me I shouldn't run because I can't win. It worked out. I want to thank Jay's parents, Abe and Gloria, who drove up here from Los Angeles to be here. It's very good to see you. I want to thank my Rabbi David Booth for the kind benediction. Dave Cortese, President of the Board of Supervisors, thank you for being Master of Ceremonies. The Santa Clara County Bar Association, President Shannon Stein, and Executive Director Chris Burdick, thank you so much for co-sponsoring this event. George Kennedy, really thrilled that you could be here. You were a smart, tough, and fair prosecutor, and certainly a role model to me in many ways. And acknowledge the district attorneys that came before me and helped to build the office that we have now in Santa Clara County. Louis Burtna and Leo Himmelsbach, My immediate predecessor, Dolores Carr, served this community with distinction as a deputy district attorney, a judge, and as the district attorney. She helped implement a very successful program called the Parent Project, which I will continue to support. And I thanked her personally for her service, but I think I also want everyone to know that I'm thanking her publicly for her service as well. I want to thank Neil Kimball for coming here to administer the oath. Neil was always a mentor of mine, a teacher of judgment, and I very well remember coming to him one day and asking him about whether I could do a certain thing or not. And Neil said to me that the line between what is permitted and not permitted is here, and it's up to you to decide how close to get to that line. And I thought that was very wise advice, and he really trained a generation of lawyers in our office. Thank you, Neil. I want to thank the event staff, many who worked on my campaign as well: Amy Cura, Aaron Spolin, Michelle Spath, Chris Ariola, Ted Kajani. Thank you very much. The event has come off extremely well. My consultant and advisor, Leo Briones, is here somewhere. He gave me very sage advice during the campaign. I couldn't have done it without him, and I really appreciate him. I don't see him here, but there he is. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. A good prosecutor is one who tempers zeal with human kindness, who seeks truth and not victims, who serves the law and not factional purposes, and who approaches his or her task with humility. So said former Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson. The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office is filled with good and noble prosecutors. Justice they pursue, and I am proud to work with them and proud to lead them. The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office has 4 core values that drive every policy and prosecution that we undertake on behalf of you, the people of Santa Clara County. Service, hard work, transparency, and integrity. Service. All the employees of the District Attorney's Office are dedicated public servants who serve you. They will be professional and courteous in all their interactions with you. Our hard-working support staff, our clerks, typists, secretaries, paralegals, bookkeepers, criminalists, investigators, budget analysts, are the foundation of our office. We prosecutors are only able to achieve our mission in court and in the community because of our outstanding support staff, and I want to thank all of them. Hard work. The prosecutors who work for you are extremely conscientious and dedicated. They work long hours, nights and weekends, visiting crime scenes and preparing cases for trial. Sometimes they work under the added pressure of enduring threats against them from the dangerous defendants that they are prosecuting. I expect that hard work from our prosecutors, and I ask you to join me in recognizing their efforts and their successes. Transparency. We will tell you about our efforts on your behalf. We will communicate through all forms of media and in person at community events. I am proud of the work our office does and want you to know about it. Our mission is to do what is right for you. We pursue the public's interest, the people's interest. Integrity. We hold ourselves to a high moral standard. We will vigorously pursue justice in a way that is fair and treats everyone equally and with respect. We will protect the constitutional rights of defendants, even as we justly prosecute them. We will be honest about the good work our office does, and we will be honest about the ways in which we have fallen short, even as we seek to do better. 16 days into my term, I want to update you about two important promises that I've kept: a conviction integrity unit and a cold case unit. We have established a conviction integrity unit whose focus is to identify the best practices in criminal justice and apply them in our county. We will establish a uniform discovery policy to make sure defendants receive all the information they are entitled to. The conviction integrity unit will review old convictions, possibly using DNA technology to eliminate any possible mistakes. Our mission is not only to prosecute the guilty because accountability mandates it, but when necessary, to exonerate the innocent because justice demands it. We have also established a cold case unit to solve the most heinous crimes, murders and rapes that have gone unsolved for years. Sadly, there are hundreds of such cases. It will cost money to hire prosecutors, investigators, and criminalists to track down leads and test evidence. I will be responsible with your tax dollars. However, an enlightened society cannot simply use a dollars and cents calculation when it comes to taking a killer off the street or sparing a woman the trauma of being brutally raped. Every elected official understands that times are tough. However, we must also remember that our duty to seek justice continues even when resources are strained. Justice and public safety are preconditions to economic growth and economic vitality. And while efficiency is an important value in the criminal justice system, it is not the paramount value. Justice is the paramount value. Silicon Valley is a beautiful, vibrant, and diverse community where people come from all over the world to create new technologies that really change the world. And our district attorney's office will reflect the excellence and diversity of this amazing place. It is my honor and privilege to humbly serve as your district attorney. Thank you on behalf of all the employees of the district attorney's office for your support and good wishes as we do our important work on your behalf. Let us go forward together from strength to strength. Thank you.